The Coyote Twin, Vermilion's downtown theater. Providing entertainment Thursdays through Sundays.
A Vermilion small business continues to expand.
They're adding a second store downtown.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
The time now is 5 o'clock. I'm Michael Stake.
And I'm Hannah Gokenauer. Street parking is changing for the winter season, but first.
A poll made by South Dakota State University shows the race for state governor is closer than expected. Results show Governor Kristi Noem leads the race with 45% against challenger Jamie Smith, who has 41%. The results of the poll show there's a high degree of dissent among Republicans, saying they were voting for Representative Smith.
The last day to register to vote was on Monday. If you're 18 or older, you can vote for midterm elections. Michael, are you going to vote?
Yes, I'm doing a mail-in ballot. What about you?
I will have to go back to my state and vote from there.
We asked the same questions to our Twitter followers, and it looked like
we got
all
yes
of them who
and yes,
voted
a different state. Okay.
are going to vote, which is great.
In-person voting will be held on November 8th, which is also the deadline for mailed-in ballots.
Follow our Twitter page at USD Coyote News to take part in our weekly polls.
South Dakota has seen a rapid rise in people registering to use medical marijuana in recent months. The administrator of the state's medical pot program, Chris Qualm, told a legislative overnight committee there are over 4,000 people registered to use the drug. That's a rapid rise from the summer. Many card holders are getting certified to use medical marijuana at so-called pop-up clinics.
The popularity of vaping products has led to a local business to open a second Vermilion location. Flames opened another store downtown. Flames specializes in tobacco and vapor equipment, with both stores selling a variety of products. The merchandise ranges from vaping pens, rolling equipment, tobacco, water pipes, lighters, and scented candles. Both stores have similar items and selections. The franchise now has 6 stores throughout southern South Dakota and western Iowa. Manager Brian Donald says customers requested another location to make it easier to reach the store at different hours.
Seemed to be a need for it. There were a whole bunch of people that either got off work too late or had too much stuff going on to get to us by 9 o'clock, so we figured we'd have a store that's open a little bit later, kind of mix in with the nightlife.
Donald says that the business is doing well thus far. The downtown store is open from noon until midnight. Vape products can also be purchased at V-Vape, BMS, and other local convenience stores.
Even though it hasn't snowed yet, the city of Vermilion is starting odd and even parking next Tuesday. The calendar day change affects east-west streets between Dakota and Plum and north-south streets between Clark and Maine. Parking between 12 and 6 in the morning is not allowed. Vehicles parked on the streets during those times will be ticketed and towed. Odd and even parking allows for the streets to be plowed from curb to curb.
Coming up, students get a visit from furry friends.
In a world where embracing your identity is a privilege not usually given to the members of the LGBTQIA+ community, the University of South Dakota Spectrum provides community and education for young queer scholars. Sexuality and identity are defined on spectrums. And having a community of open-minded, inclusive peers provides safety. Spectrum is one reason all Coyotes can call the University of South Dakota their home.
This is Coyote News.
Results of the 2022 National Assessment of Educational Progress were released on Monday. South Dakota scores stayed above the national average in test scores, while other states experienced double-digit declines. Known as the nation's report card, it's a nationwide assessment of reading and math of students in 4th and 8th grades.
USD Sanford School of Medicine is integrating kindness programs into its curriculum. USD is the only school in the country to take on this approach. Dr. Jerome Freeman and Dr. Wendell Hoffman co-authored a paper appealing to their colleagues for a greater application of kindness in medicine. The process is being undertaken in a careful and systematic fashion.
There were many Dakota Days highlight events, including the well-attended street dance in downtown Vermilion last Thursday. The dance is one of the annual traditions of the week. D-Day's president, Tombi Nialeka, says this event is a way to give students a safe and fun introduction into the nightlife of Vermilion. The night started off slow, but with the help of music, the crowd became more energized. The event included lights, a DJ, fireworks, and free drinks. Nialeka says the street dance is a way to bring everyone together, including parents, alumni, and students.
I think I just want students to experience just how much fun it is. You don't have to know the person that you are standing next to, but you can get to know them and see them on campus and just have everybody come together. So I want them to really enjoy the moment and be in the moment, because I think this is kind of, you don't have to worry about school, you don't have to worry about classes, you're good to go.
Bubbler was the main sponsor of the dance, providing funding for the event and free drinks to everyone that attended. Nialeka says the street dance's main goal is to let students join the community of Vermilion and meet new friends in the process.
Lambda Chi Alpha and Pi Beta Phi are hosting a haunted house to celebrate Halloween. Coyote News' Callie Connors is live in the muck to get more of the spooky details. Callie?
Thanks, Michael. I'm here with Ethan Riswold, the Lambda Chi president. Ethan, first of all, congratulations on your position as president.
Thank you.
So what are you enjoying most about being president of Lambda?
Just being able to give back to the organization that's given so much to me. I mean, it's a really special thing to be in a fraternity, and I just try to give back as much as it's given me.
You have a haunted house event going on tonight and tomorrow night. What was that planning process like?
So what we did is we brought a committee together of both Lambdas and Pi Phis, and we just kind of brainstormed, thought of a theme of what we wanted to do, and then a floor plan of what the house was going to look like for the haunted house. And I don't want to give too much away, but it's going to be a good one.
Is this event open to all students, or is it community members as well?
It's open to everybody. A lot of families bring their kids, and if somebody's more liable to be frightened easily, we'll let people know and we'll kind of give them an easier ride.
Is there anything particular that you have to do to get in the door to this haunted house?
Just buy a ticket. It's $5 if you buy one from any of our lovely Lambdas or Pi Phis, or $7 at the door.
Is there anything that you and your fellow members of Lambda are most looking forward to during the haunted house?
During the haunted house, it's really fun to scare people. It's a great time.
And what other events does Lambda have planned for the future?
For the future, we're not going to have anything else for this year, but in the spring we'll have a Watermelon Bash, Founders Day, and variable charitable events that are in the pipeline.
Ethan, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Live in the muck for Coyote News, I'm Callie Connors.
Thanks, Callie. The haunted house will be open tonight and tomorrow night from 7 to 9 at the Lambda Chi House.
If you're scared of haunted houses, here are some other events going on during the week. Vermilion businesses are hosting the historic downtown trick-or-treating. Shops will give out candy and goodies. Photo opportunities will also be available on Friday from 4 to 6. Also on Friday night, the Coyote Twin Theater is showing the Rocky Horror Picture Show at 10. On Saturday, they'll run the movie again with a full performance by the Rocky Horror Preservation Society Shadowcast.
If you saw cats in the muck on Thursday, you weren't hallucinating. You were seeing the Residence Hall Association's first cat cafe. The kittens were invited to campus to mingle with students, creating a long line throughout the muck. even causing people to camp out. The event was designed for students to de-stress during midterms. In order to increase space and enjoyment, only 10 students were allowed in the room at a time. They swapped out groups in 10-minute increments. The kittens are Yankton strays that were taken in by the Heartland Humane Society and will be available for adoption at the end of this week. To adopt a cat from the Humane Society, it costs $45, plus a $150 refundable spay or neuter deposit.
Next on Coyote Sports, the soccer team fails to reach the Summit League tournament.
But the football team wins on D-Days. Stay with us.
This is Coyote News.
The football team picks up an important win on D-Days.
And the volleyball team adds to its winning streak. This is Coyote Sports. I'm Landon DeBoer.
And I'm Sydney Funderman.
The football team will travel to Ohio to play Youngstown State this weekend with a new quarterback at the helm. As of today, redshirt freshman Aiden Bauman is listed as the #1 quarterback on the roster, ahead of Carson Camp. Bauman and the Coyotes will try to follow up their D-Days victory last weekend over the Southern Illinois Salukis. Early in the game, the Salukis led 7-0, but a Brock Mogensen fumble recovery and return set the Coyotes up in prime position. On their ensuing drive, running back Travis Tice takes it in from 7 yards to tie up the game. The Coyote offense would stall and fall behind 21-7. Camp was replaced by Bauman at quarterback, who soon found Wesley Eliador for the touchdown. Later in the second half, Shomari Lawrence would find the end zone from 29 yards out to tie the game at 24. A USD interception by Cameron Tisdale late in the game gives USD a chance for the win. Kicker Eddie Ogamba would make the game-winning field goal from 44 yards to give the Coyotes a D-Days victory. USD wins this one 27-24 with over 200 yards rushing in the contest. Bauman finished the game with 120 yards passing.
The volleyball team will try and add to its 7-game winning streak this week against SDSU on Friday. They'll stay home against the Jackrabbits after picking up 2 wins on the road last week against Denver and Omaha. In Game 1 at Denver, the Coyotes won the final 3 sets to win the match in 5. Madison Harms led USD on defense with 13 blocks. In Game 2, USD beat Omaha in 4 sets, with Elizabeth Junkie tallying 26 kills in the contest. The D-Days win may have saved football coach Bob Nielsen's job. Coyote News' Callie Connors is live in the muck to tell us more. Callie?
Thanks, Sydney. I'm here with Brock Widener, the sports designer of the Volant. So Brock, today you published an article in the Volant talking about how the D-Days win kind of saved Bob Nielsen's career. Why do you think that?
The offense has kind of been lackluster this season, and you know, it's never good to start out 1-5, but the win really helped, going 2-5, and the offense showed life. You know, getting Aiden Bowman in at quarterback really changed the momentum of the game, as well as just the offense in general.
Aside from winning the D-Days game, what else do you think Coach Nielsen will have to do in order to keep his job?
Yeah, it's never done. You know, it's never secure. The D-Days win was definitely in the right direction. You're going to have to continue to win a couple games. You win about 3, 4, 5 games at the end of the season, looking good. Then you have a lighter schedule next season where playoffs are definitely in reach for next year.
As talked about earlier in the show, with the emergence of the new quarterback, Aiden Bauman, how will that lead to further discussion about Nielsen's future?
It's kind of an interesting question, because Bauman, it's going to be a lot of pressure for Bauman. You're stepping into a situation where the other quarterback, his play wasn't so well, and you kind of come in, you show what you're worth a little bit, but it's not done. It was one game. You got to really have to prove yourself, and Nielsen definitely has to kind of prep him well for Youngstown State, a place that the team has never won at.
Absolutely. So how important is it now to have still Carson Camp as a backup quarterback?
It's pretty important. Carson Camp knows the system well. He's played here for a couple of seasons. He knows kind of what works, what doesn't, and if he comes up with a good mentality, he can really show Bowman, or can help Bowman along the way.
Brock, thank you so much for being here today. Live in the muck for Coyote Sports, I'm Callie Connors.
Thanks, Callie. The Coyotes will play at Youngstown State in Ohio on Saturday, and as Widener said, it's a place where USD has never won.
The soccer team season has come to an end after failing to beat NDSU or UND last weekend. The Coyotes needed to win either of the two games to qualify for the Summit League tournament. In Game 1, the Bison defeated USD 4-1 with 3 goals in the final 28 minutes. In the second matchup of the weekend, UND ended the Coyotes' playoff hopes with just 1 goal in the 60th minute of the game. The women's golf team will head to Missouri on Halloween to play their final tournament of their fall schedule. Yesterday, they finished runner-up at the Terrier Intercollegiate in South Carolina. The Coyotes saw 3 players finish the tournament in the top 20, with both Katie Nicola and Akari Hayashi placing top 6. USD's second-place finish is their highest of the fall season.
The women's swimming and diving team will compete this Friday at Iowa State. Both the men's and the women's teams raced at last weekend's Kansas Tri-Duels in Lawrence. The men's team fell to the Summit League rival Lindenwood at the first event, but the women's team would win. In their second meet against Kansas, only the women competed, and they would lose to the Jayhawks. A standout at the meets was once again Taylor Burr, who won both the 100 and 200 meter breaststroke. The World Series will begin on Friday with the Philadelphia Phillies of the National League facing the Houston Astros of the American League.
And the 118th Fall Classic will hopefully be a good one. So we asked our Twitter followers of who they want to win the series.
And it looks like most of our followers said they just want it to be a good series.
Well, personally, I want the Phillies to win, but I hope I do get to see a Game 7. How about you, Sydney?
Well, I personally just want the teams to have fun and just live in the moment of having this successful of a season. And that's it for Coyote Sports.
When we come back, we ask students what reality TV show they'd want to be on and why. Stay with us.
Hey, do you want to answer a quick question for Coyote News?
Huh? What's the question?
It's about roommates. It'll only take a second.
I don't know.
Come on. All you have to do is talk to me. What's the weirdest thing that you found your roommate doing?
One time I came home from class and she was clipping her toenails on my bed. That was weird and gross.
Hey, look, it's you.
That was weird and gross.
No way.
This is Coyote News.
There are hundreds of reality TV shows on cable and streaming services.
Even though not all of us will be in a reality TV show, there may be one that we want to be a part of.
This week, we asked students what reality TV show they would want to be in and why. Here's what they had to say.
I would want to be on Wheel of Fortune because I would be really good at it.
Probably Love Island because the accents are really funny and I could get my graft on.
Dance Moms, so then I could do a solo and win and be at the top of the pyramid.
That's what the stars. Because, you know, great dancing. Come on now, let's get real.
The main one everybody always probably says the Kardashians, but that would be fun.
I'd be in Keeping Up with the Kardashians because then I'd be crazy rich.
I feel like Keeping Up with the Kardashians would be interesting. I don't watch it, but I've seen snippets of it, so I feel like that would be really interesting to see what they were really like.
Love Island or something like that, just because I think it's really funny. And I just want to see how far I get, I guess.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians, 100%, especially the new season. I love the drama. I love their life.
Too hot to handle. You know, just seems like they have fun on that show.
And Naked Afraid, because it'd be a challenge, and I think it'd be most fun.
Michael, what about you? What reality TV show do you think you would be on?
I would have to say Wipeout. I really think that I could go across those balls. It looks too easy.
Honestly, I'd have to agree with you. I feel like they're just making it look too hard.
The USD Barstool account is changing administrators. One person oversaw the account for a few years and is now passing it down to the next Mr. Barstool. The now retired owner posted a farewell letter to the account's followers, saying he'll still be around to help the next admin. The identities of those handling the account's content remain a mystery. And that's all for Coyote News.
Pick up the Volant's issue for a column on the USD football coach benching the starting quarterback.
Listen to 91.1 for news updates throughout the week and for coverage of USD versus SDSU volleyball on Friday.
And don't forget to follow our social media pages for daily news updates and the weekly poll. Have a great night.